Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset here with a new episode, and today's episode will be flipping the script. Why flipping the script? Because I see a lot of people struggling when they get out of the Jehovah Witness religion, or they want to leave the Jehovah Witness organization. Why? You already feel guilty most of the time for leaving the religion, leaving your friends, leaving your family, whatever is happening in your life. And then it starts. What starts? They are putting the guilt on you because you are leaving. As if it is enough already, the guilt and everything, the anxiety you have for leaving, they put the guilt on you. You feel already guilty. Maybe you have a mother who is sick or is older. You're the only child left for her. You want to take care of her. You want to do this, you want to do that. You want to bring her to the meetings if you have to. And now you want to leave the Jehovah Witness religion. Just one example, but there are hundreds of examples of people in similar situations. So, you want to leave, but what's happening? The burden is put on you. And what burden? It's also a burden of proof. Because Jehovah Witnesses always want evidence that they are right and you are wrong. They will want from you that you are gonna defend yourself why you are leaving the organization. But I want you to understand one thing. You don't have to. Why? Because I was talking to a Jehovah Witness recently, and I think flipping the script is the one who's making the claim is the one who carries the burden of proof. Because Jehovah Witnesses need to defend their beliefs. I don't need to defend anything anymore. And they say, yeah, but Jehovah Witnesses are the one and true religion. It's us against them. They are worldly, blah, blah, blah. So they carry the burden of proof. They must prove that they are the true religion. But don't take the bait from the Jehovah Witnesses. Don't scramble to disprove them. You're not because this. You're not because that. And we all did it in our enthusiasm, in that we want to defend our choices in life. But don't take that bait. Flip the script. Why? Because they will ask you why you leave, why you don't believe anymore. They will ask proof from you that Jehovah Witnesses are not God's organization. They want you to prove it. Prove it to me. Why is this not the one and true religion? Prove it to me. But don't take that bait. Also, one question I always hear is, where else do you have to go? Where else should you go? This is the only true religion. There's no other place for you to go but this organization. Don't take that bait. Because all those questions assume that the watchtower is right by default. But you have to change the default setting. That is what you want. Jehovah chose this religion. Ask for the proof. Ask for the proof. Prove it to me that this is God's true religion, that Jehovah chose the Jehovah Witnesses as his religion. Ask for the proof. Let them explain it to you. Each logical point for JW's biological point. And remember, crazy can't explain crazy. You're saying Jehovah Witnesses are God's organization, I said. That's a big claim. Can you prove that to me? That's all I said. Prove it to me. Then I ask, where did you get that information? Can you show me proof outside of Watchtower publications that Jehovah Witnesses are the one and true only religion that's approved by God? Ask it. Try it. Try them to ask, can you show me proof outside of Watchtower publications? And then, my friends, the struggle begins. And remember, they have the burden of proof on them. They have to prove that that is the one and only true religion. So ask them, what is the proof outside your own articles that Jehovah Witnesses are the one and only true religion? Don't fall into arguing with them, but ask just questions, open questions. If the unity proves truth, why are also other religions united? Maybe you can name some other religions. If unity is a proof of Jehovah's blessing, why are other religions also united in what they are believing? If preaching door to door makes you special and Jehovah Witnesses as the one and only true religion, why are other religions also preaching door to door? If world events prove the end of this world, why has every generation thought they were living in the end times? If you go all the way back to the history of the Jehovah Witnesses, millions now living will never die. That's the time of, I believe, Rutherford already, the 30s. They were also thinking they were in the last days. Russell predicted Armageddon in 1940, 1922, 1925, 1975. Every generation of the Jehovah Witnesses thought they were living in the end times. So, if world events prove that we're living in the end times, why are all those people were living in those days with the end times in their minds? Because if you try to understand them and ask open questions like these, just a few examples, it stops all those emotional arguments of the Jehovah Witnesses. Because you know, we are brainwashed, we are indoctrinated to just reply with certain things. Yeah, we are united, we are other than the worldly people. We do door-to-door preaching. That's the most thing I hear from Jehovah Witnesses. We are the only religion who is doing door-to-door preaching. The LDS Church is also preaching. Other religions like the Mennonites or the Amish people or the LDS Church are ticking also all those boxes that JWs throw at you. That they are the one and only religion. So let them prove it to you. And what it does is maybe you plant the seed. Because most of the Jehovah Witnesses are never critically examining their own thoughts, their own beliefs. They are conditioned that they accept whatever the governing body is saying. So you don't want to go into an argument with the Jehovah Witnesses. But with flipping the script, like I did, let me see something that you are the true religion outside of the Watchtower articles. If other research articles also say the Jehovah Witnesses are 100% right, then you have a case for yourself. Then you can stand on something. But what you wanna achieve is don't fall into the arguments, but you wanna let them think for themselves, that they start that process. Hey, that's a good question, he asked me. Why is it the one and true religion? And maybe you get them by flipping the script to start thinking for themselves. They gonna experience something they never been confronted with. They always get away with the burden of proof to blame it on somebody else. But now they have to carry that burden. They have to prove it for themselves. And maybe we get them to think for themselves. Others will ignore you for sure. Some maybe will dig a little bit deeper. But some people, and that's what we hope for, will stop and wonder and think, hey, that was a good one. Why is it the one and true religion for me? Because why is it the Jehovah Witnesses who are right? Because back in the days, it were the Bible students. And we all know when Rutherford took power, he changed it into the Jehovah Witnesses. But the Bible students still exist. They didn't want to do anything to do with the Jehovah Witnesses at that time. They were going on the teachings of Russell, and they call themselves Bible students. I know a lot of groups who still believe in Jehovah, but not in the organization. Why aren't they the true religion? Ask yourself that as JW. There are other groups who have positions for women that they can read out loud, that they can also talk from the stand like brothers. They are equal. They are still believing in Jehovah and Jesus, not in the organization. You have groups who every month or every week they drink the wine and eat the bread because Jesus commanded us to. They believe that. So there are a lot of religions. We all claim as a religion that we are the one and true religion. But flip the script, people. Just let them think for themselves and let them come with the burden of proof. Put the burden of proof on them. That they have to prove to you why they are the one and only true religion. And if they are ignoring you, that's fine. We're not here to fight. We're not here to argue because you don't want to argue with other people. Then you don't find a mutual understanding. What you want is that they're gonna think for themselves. And flipping the script and ask questions like this is a good start to do. The other advantage of this is when you try this, it already takes away the burden of guilt on you. And that's what you want. That's what I want for you. Because when we leave, I also had a burden of guilt on me. My parents became older. Of course, I loved being there with my mom and my dad. Later on, my mom died. It was a burden of guilt. I thought by myself, would she still be alive if I was in the organization? Because surely she was getting maybe physical things because of the stress, because I left. But it's not my fault. Everyone has his own responsibility. That's the word I was looking for. We all have our own responsibility. You're not responsible for your mom, who you take care of, that she took the decision to be a Jehovah Witness and still is a Jehovah Witness. You are not responsible for taking her to the congregation meeting. It has nothing to do with kind of a son you are to her. You still love her, you want everything you can to do for her, but it's also your own responsibility to take care of your choices. And your choices should be respected by everybody else. If they're not respecting your choices, then it's not your problem. It's their problem. And it sounds harsh maybe, but it isn't, because we can't control what other people think. They can't control what I think. So choose for yourself. It's not arrogant. It's nothing to do with that. You have to make your own choices. And other people make also their own choices. And if they want to stay a Jehovah Witness, that's fine. It has nothing to do with the type of person you are. So people, this helps you to get rid of a little bit of guilt in the beginning already. And that helps you further along your way to freedom, your way to freedom of mind, physical, mental freedom. It has everything to do with getting yourself in a better place. And what's better than start losing the guilt in an early stage? So if you are planning on leaving, if you just left, flip the script like I did with those questions, because they want to put more guilt on you. And also that burden of proof. You have to prove that the organization is false, that this and this, and then they want you to feel guilty. Why? Because you made a courageous step, and deep down inside they are jealous of you, but they're so brainwashed and indoctrinated that the only thing they can do is to convince themselves that this is the true religion, because if they lose that picture in their head, it was all in vain. And that's scary, people, and we have to have compassion for that, because if that's a sunk cost fallacy. They have so much invested in that religion. My parents have brought me up in that religion. That also brings guilt to them if the religion isn't the true religion. So they made their own mistakes, plus the 2 children they drag into it. So think about the guilt they would have if it was all in vain and it was not the true religion. So they do everything to put it on you when you're leaving. But with flipping the script, try it out. Let them prove it. They have the burden of proof, and the advantage is you have less guilt in your road to freedom. Thank you guys for watching. See each other on the next episode.